Hey guys, John White here, also known as Crazy Spider Adventures. I'm one of Minelab's detectors. Thanks for joining me again. I have another really cool episode that I think will be a big time saver for everybody. So in the soft keys, there's really not a way to set up a way to get to your iron stabilizer very fast. If that's a setting that really works well for you and you find that you're using it quite a bit, right now it's set up to where you have to go into settings and change it around or whatever you need to while you're hunting, because maybe in most cases you need it on all the time, and that's just the type of detecting that you do. Now I found a way to quickly turn that on and off, so that way if you want to just spot check something, like I think I will probably be more in the lines of doing that. I will show you how I set up my machine to where I can quickly turn it on and off and not have to go into the settings every single time to do so. That way I can spot check targets more or less. So a really cool way I think I found that will make you happy to be able to turn that on and off very quickly for yourself. Another thing that I found has built a little bit more confidence in trusting the iron stabilizer, for me at least. So I'm going to take you back a little bit, back to the Equinox 800. So story time here, lessons learned on my part. Something, I think all of us have been in the boat where every now and then there's something you didn't think of and you're like, oh, why didn't I think of that? Or you had your machine set up to where you thought you were running and doing great and found out later it's like, what did I miss? Because I had it set up where I didn't want to really have it set up, and I thought I had it set up great, and I didn't. So with the 800, early on with it, I found iron bias after they added iron bias, and for me, I was kind of comparing the iron bias to this new stabilizer setting, which it kind of does the same in a way. So I had the iron bias turned up quite a bit. I was running it fairly high, and I was like, great, this makes the machine a lot quieter, and you know, I'm hearing good targets, and it's cutting out a lot of the chirpy, chippy, iron type noises. That was my mistake. So I had a property I was on as a big Victorian, and I kept finding, I think somebody had been there and ate up all the silvers. I only found a couple like silver war nickels, that was about it. However, I found a lot of other things there, a lot of really cool things, and I think I found about 5 or 6 V and Buffalo nickels. And by about the third one, I was like, I want to test this out. So I messed around with my iron bias, and I went from barely hearing these nickels at 5-6 inches to all of a sudden the machine is just banging right off of it, and it's loud and clear. And I was like, oh no, what have I missed in my past? And I realized the masking effect that really had on the machine, that I really didn't take into account. So that was kind of my worry with the stabilizer, is it going to be very similar to that or not? So anyway, the second part, or the second test that I film in this, is building my confidence in being able to use this more often than I think I might otherwise, just from what I heard the machine do. Really cool stuff. I think you guys will like this. Let's get into it. All right, so if you've chosen to frequent the realm of using Stabiliser with your usage on the machine, I have found a very fast way to turn that on and off without having to go into the menus, which is a huge time saver. So we're going to set it up so you can actually turn it on and off via the soft key here. And I had to think of a little bit of a more ingenious way of doing it, since it's not an actual soft key to turn that on and off. So right now I just have my flashlight on that setting right now. What we're going to do, we're going to go into our settings. We are going to go into general settings, and we're going to go into our soft keys. Now to navigate your soft keys, you simply hit up or down. And for me, I wanted to have this ability on my right side. That's the easiest way for me, that's the easiest key for me to hit with my thumb while I'm using the machine. So instead of flashlight, we're going to go to favorite mode. Right there. Not search mode, but favorite mode. So we're going to go ahead and leave that on there. And as you can see, one more. As you can see now, favorite mode is now using this soft key here. So then the second step of this is then you have to have your machine set to what you want for your favorite mode. For this, we're going to go to our stabilizer, and we want to go ahead and just for this example, I probably wouldn't run stabilizer very high unless you absolutely need to. For this example, just so you can see the difference, we're going to go ahead and crank it all the way up to 12. We're going to back out, and then set up whatever you want for your settings, get it ready to go, because then we're going to go down to our search mode. So if this is what you're using, you're going to edit, and right there's your favorite. We're going to hit the over arrow to turn that on. Now it's our search mode. So whatever settings you had that under, for example, for ours, we had the stabilizer turned on all the way up. That is now saved under our favorite mode. We'll go ahead and back out. That is saved under there. I'm going to go ahead and change our stabilizer now. So now we're going to crank that back off to use for our normal hunting. We're going to hit our back arrow. Okay, so I have iron nail under here. See if I can find her. Okay, you can hear the iron nail. You can see a little bit of that target trace coming up. So if you're like, okay, I think it's iron, but I'm not sure, well, we're going to hit our button here that now has turned our favorite mode on. And as you give it a few seconds, as you can see, there's no more target trace and really no more sound for that iron that was there. We're going to go ahead and while I'm swinging, turn that back off, give it a second, and there it's back again. So this quickly gives you the ability to turn your iron stabilizer on and off while you're swinging, to maybe have that extra tool in your tool bag to figure out if something's iron or not, if you're not quite sure. So that is my tip and trick to how to turn it on and off real quick without having to go into those menu screens. That way you don't have to run it all the time, and you can just use it to spot check some stuff. Hope this helps you guys out. Alright guys, now that we have that setting figured out to where you can quickly turn on and off your iron stabilizer, I still have it set up to where it's on 12. Now for this next target, I have a 1-cent penny right next to an iron nail. You can, I don't have it buried super deep. You can hear the penny just fine, but if you're swinging fast and you're looking at your target trace, you're kind of getting it all over the board there, right? Now what's cool, as you give it a few seconds, normally that iron would go completely away, but guess what? You can still hear that penny. It sounds different. Instead of being all over the place, it still hears that penny. So that is, as you can see, when I hit it, it takes a few seconds. You have to swing on it for a few seconds to let the machine analyze what it's reading. And as you can see, that iron sound completely goes away and all you hear is the penny. Now, if this was deep, this one's probably about 3 or 4 inches. If this one was deep, I'd be worried about using it at such a high level. But if you're in the middle of a bunch of an iron patch and you got lots of iron pulsing going on, it might definitely help you out. So So hopefully this helps you guys kind of understand how the stabilizer works, and that, yeah, you can have good signals come through. Even, I mean, I have that penny maybe 1.5 inches away from that iron, that little iron nail in there. So I might trust this a little more than I thought I would, actually. I'm gonna keep testing it out and see what else I can come up with. Hey guys, so that wraps up my test for today. I hope you really like what you saw. I hope that setting helps you out on the soft key. If that's something that fits your needs, being able to turn that on and off very quickly. And I hope you saw kind of that little bit of a confidence builder with what the stabilizer function does and the engineering behind it. So I thought that was really cool to kind of see that a little bit. And it, like I said, it definitely builds my confidence in using the setting. A lot more confidence than I had with iron bias. So again, this is not something to use at all times, in my opinion. It's not something you really want to use unless you're in the situation where you need it for iron or nails going on where you're hunting. But hopefully it's just, ultimately it's just one more tool that you can add to your tool bag to help you decide whether it's something you should dig or not. So that's what I really like about the Manticore, is all the different tools are given you in the machine. So it's a matter of what tools work best for you, what tools you want to have on and use to ultimately help you decide whether to dig something or not. So that's what's awesome about what Minelab is doing with the Manticore, is just giving you all the tools they can. So it's just one more thing to help you out. So good luck, guys. Happy digging. And if you haven't set up your stabilizer yet, or you're trying to figure out how to do that, make sure to check out my other video on the stabilizer, the initial one I put out. So anyway, have a good one. We'll talk to you later.